What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Keeping It EPL on the Rants Network.
Hell yes.
Yeah. A classic here at the Rants Network, I guess. Matthew Selz, it's been a little bit. We've had the holidays, so we've been, enjoying our families and welcoming this new year, 2025, but still watching a lot of Premier League football.
Yes.
Does anybody, and I ask you this right there, want to catch Liverpool?
I think there's a few. I just think they're having a tough time doing it right now.
Liverpool lost points to Man United in a good game, a 2-2 game that Liverpool probably should have won, but every time they draw, you could probably say that this year. But Arsenal, bad weekend. Chelsea, bad weekend. The only team that had a good weekend was Nottingham Forest, who are literally in the chase.
That's true. That's true.
We are in the chase.
If I had told you 20 games into the season that Nottingham Forest is even on points with Arsenal, you would think that Arsenal's having an atrociously bad year and that Arteta would have been sacked or their entire roster is injured or something. Not that they are tied for second in the table. Right? Like, it's either the Nottingham Forest became the Monstars or Arsenal is having the worst season in the 140-year history of Arsenal.
It's neither. It's neither of those, actually. What it is Nottingham Forest is a good, solid team.
Yes.
A good, solid team. And remember, the only team this season in any competition to beat Liverpool, and they did it at Anfield.
Correct.
Now, that'll bring us to the end of the show because that's a huge matchup coming up.
Correct.
Liverpool and Nottingham Forest.
Also, Liverpool plays Tottenham later. We're recording this in front of the Carabao Cup, the first leg of the Carabao Cup semifinal.
Yep, don't care.
I do a little bit because it's like Tottenham's only shot at a trophy.
Because you need something.
I do.
Tottenham needs something.
I'll tell you what.
Liverpool, just give it to him. Just let Tottenham.
I'm very nervous for Saturday, actually, in the FA Cup when Tottenham has to go to like Tamsworth.
Who is Liverpool's playing? The funniest thing. What is it? No, it's an old commercial. It's like oh no, I had it too. Acronym City or something like. The little kid is like, who the hell is that?
Yeah, Tottenham has to go to a team who plays on a field who lists their official capacity at 5,000, but they only have 480 seats.
Accrington Stanley. That's right. Accrington Stanley is who.
They're gonna.
It rhymes with whatever I said earlier.
Acronym.
Yeah, and there's a funny commercial that's just funny. So Liverpool, whatever they do against Tottenham, and then which we'll know by the time you're watching this or listening to this, you'll know what happened. But kudos, whoever wins that, the Carabao, no one cares. Okay, that's not a big, except unless you're a Tottenham fan
again too, so
and you care. But they're gonna rest. Liverpool's gonna play their 20-year-olds against this weekend. And they'll be nice and warmed up for the big matchup next week. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true.
It is a big matchup, man. It's like...
I can't believe I'm saying that.
If Forest takes 6 points from Liverpool this year, that's going to be insane.
What if Liverpool loses only 2 games and it's just the 4?
That would be such a weird year.
Well, it already is a weird year. So. That's here we are. So real quick with the table, obviously Liverpool up front with that draw. They are 6 points ahead of Arsenal and Forest, but they do have that game against Everton in hand. Chelsea sits to bummer for Chelsea. Just a bad 4 weeks. 2 losses, 2 draws. Now only at 36, 10 behind Liverpool. And we were just last episode we were saying that we liked them better than Arsenal. And they just, I don't know what happened to them. They just fell apart.
Here's how bad of a stretch it's been for Chelsea. The next team in the table, Newcastle, who's up to 5th.
Yeah, well, they've had a great
4 weeks ago, Newcastle was 11 points behind Chelsea.
Wow.
And
now they're 1. Oh, yeah. No, they're down 1, right?
Down? Are they down 1?
Yeah, they're down 1
Yeah,
still.
they're down 1. So they've made up 10 points in 4 games.
Well, they have won 5 in a row, Newcastle, and after we talked about how boring they were and how they're terrible this year, that draw with Liverpool really just turned them into a whole different team. I don't know what happened.
Quite frankly, you could argue Newcastle should have won that.
Won
that draw.
Turned them into a completely different team, and I was really high on them at the beginning of the season, so it's good to see them come to form. And now they're, here they are at 5, 1 behind Chelsea, and back to where we thought they were. Man City, we're not going to talk about Man City ad nauseum anymore this season, probably. I mean, yeah, they won.
It's the first time in 14 games they've won 2 in a row.
Yeah, okay. They're out of the title race. We'll talk to them if any transfer news or about them if any transfer news or anything comes through. Bournemouth, surprise team this year, still doing their thing. I'm not lost in the last 6. 3 wins, 3 draws at 7th. Aston Villa.
Get big injury news today, though.
They did, correct. So that's going to hamper them a little bit, but everybody at this point has big injury news in a form. So, but it is a big one. Aston Villa, they are who we thought they were. Fulham, one of the surprise team, also has not lost in the last 6. A lot of draws, though. You can just call Fulham just the automatic draw team. But hey, that'll get you on the top of the table at 9th. Brighton has slipped this season after the hot start at 10th. Brentford, speaking of slipping, I still love watching them, but they've been kind of on a little. The holiday season did not bode well for Brentford.
Only because they didn't play at home.
Correct. That is correct.
If they played at home, they're 1 point behind Liverpool this year in home games.
Wow. They are great at home. Tottenham 12. Man United. Man United. I don't know, man. This team is
showing signs of life. Maybe.
Sure. With a draw after.
I mean, they took advantage of Trent Alexander-Arnold having the worst day of his Liverpool career.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, 13th. West Ham. News on West Ham. They had fired their head coach. And you had some news on that too. You say they already have kind of a shoe-in to be their next coach.
Oh, they've already signed the replacement.
Already?
Yes.
Oh, because that just came out today. So who is the replacement?
They canceled. So news has been going about for about a week now that West Ham was interested in Graham Potter. And
makes
then
sense.
West Ham went out and laid an egg in their last game. And so that only strengthened the conversations between the two sides. And then news came out this morning that West Ham had canceled the press conference that Julen Lopetegui was supposed to have.
Ugh.
But somehow let him lead practice before they sacked him. And then they sacked him, and then within 5 minutes, news broke that they had signed Graham Potter to a 2.5-year contract.
I like the signing. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Potter's good enough. He should have been somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. And at least they didn't bring back David Moyes again. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
He's still looking for a job. I'm surprised he is. I'm surprised he is.
So West Ham will have a new coach.
They need it. They've been very stagnant, very bland. They were a good team last year. We had high expectations. They have a good roster.
Yes,
I mean, they do have a good roster.
To compete for Europe.
Correct. So to be 14th right now is a disservice to the blower of bubblers everywhere.
Might be the most ridiculous pregame
bubble blowers. I just remember there's this picture of Mohamed Salah after the game a couple weeks ago where he's standing there and it says, in the really cool away uniforms that Liverpool have this year. But it says, not signing or move or last year. And then there's just these bubbles behind him. I'm like, that picture would have been so cool if it wasn't for those stupid bubbles just flying around.
Yeah. It's like a minor league soccer stadium.
Yeah. Hey, remember a few weeks ago when I was about to write off the Wolves being relegated and I said, if they don't win this next game, I'm going to cite them off. Well, guess what? They've won 2, drawn and lost, and they are in 17th thanks to goal differential by 1 over Ipswich and then Leicester and then obviously Southampton still here. But Southampton's on just the rest of the season. It's just going to kind of go on like a little farewell tour, remember when Dwayne Wade is last year?
They may set the record for least amount of points.
They have 6. And with one game over halfway through for them. So
what's the record? 10, I think, right?
yeah,
Is the record for fewest points in
it's
a
gonna
Premier
be
League.
it's gonna be tough. But yeah, they're going down. But yeah, so there you go. That's where we sit after some crazy weeks over the holidays. Some surprises, obviously. I think Newcastle, don't call it a comeback tour. Newcastle back to fifth. Nottingham Forest, obviously, is the biggest surprise of the season, and they've won 6 in a
I
row.
love seeing all these clips going around social media of like Sky Sports and the NBC folks and everybody in the preseason picking Forest as one of the they're definitely getting relegated this year because they've been down there 2 years in a row, so they'll be down there again and whatever. And now they're sitting third in the table.
It's crazy. They're on a hot streak for sure.
They are. That's the first time they've won 6 straight top flight games since like 1967.
And they're not like they're winning them. They're winning them. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it's not been a bunch of 1-0s recently. It's been
3-0. They're scoring goals, and yeah, it's quite
4 clean sheets in a row.
Yeah, crazy. So here we are. Here we are indeed. Some news in the transfer portal. Just by the way, if you go on like Bleacher Report or look up and remember when we used to have, I don't know if they still exist, there were tabloids here. Alien baby found in man's home, like stuff like that. Well, the European tabloids are all about football, and they will produce the silliest, craziest things you've ever heard, and none of it rarely, if ever, comes true. Like when Ronaldo was going to go somewhere, and it was a guarantee. I forgot where he was. It was hilarious. But he ended up, staying at Man U. What was the one where it's just crazy talk. So I saw one that Real Madrid already has Trent Alexander-Arnold in the bag, and now they're going to go after Virgil van Dijk too. I mean, first of all, why do you want the players from the team that you beat every year in the Champions League? I don't understand that.
If you can't beat it,
no. Real Madrid has Liverpool's number, except for this year. Yeah. But that Real Madrid game in the Champions League this year, they were really undermanned with injuries. But Mbappe was supposed to go to Liverpool a couple of years ago in one of them. Yeah. That one was fun. It's just it's bullshit. So I don't believe the Trent Alexander-Arnold thing. After he scored that goal, he kind of did this too. It's crazy how they're, first of all, that they still have tabloids in Europe. That's insane. And second of all, it's like Teen Beat, but for soccer players in Europe.
Yeah, I did hear rumors that they put in that Real Madrid did put in a bid.
They did put in a bid for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Rumors, again.
Not really high, like not anywhere close to high enough.
Yeah. And then the other one is, and by the way, this is all taken in context too, that because he did not say this, people. If you watch the interview, he did not say this. This is my last year at Liverpool. Mohamed Salah did not say that. They forgot a huge important part about that sentence. If something happens, or if something does not happen, then this will be my last year at Liverpool. And if it is my last year at Liverpool, that part was also taken out. The only thing I want to do is win the Premier League. Well, okay? If and is were completely taken out of that stupid tabloid headline, and it came out, Salah says, last year at Liverpool. What about the other important part of that sentence?
Yeah, because if you put the qualifiers in there, they don't sell any copies of the tabloid.
Oh, okay. So he didn't officially say that.
It's clickbait.
I still think he is going to get it done, and it will be a 2-year contract. It's going to be for a lot of money, and he will stay. I do think the weakest link in this, and by the way, Virgil van Dijk will also stay. He's the captain, and they're not letting him go. I do not think that Trent Alexander-Arnold will be, which would be sad because he's homegrown there. But when you have a direct person that can replace him immediately, who's actually been playing better than him at times,
correct,
in Bradley and Connor Bradley, who's also a homegrown Liverpoolian,
Yeah, I think you let Alexander-Arnold go.
You can let him go if you have advantage there with Arnold. Liverpool has the advantage of that in that contract talk because they have a replacement. He is a defensive liability at times. They have that advantage. They don't have an advantage on Mohamed Salah because he's doing things that's never been done in the history of the Premier League this year.
Correct.
By Christmas, I think he already has the most assists and goals. Never been done. It's insane. You give him the money, let him stay 2 more years at least, and let's see how this thing goes. And with Virgil van Dijk, him paired up with Konate is the 2 best central back tandem in the world, and it's not even close. And if you lose him, what are you going to do with that? Konate and Gomez, Kwanzaa, who's been garbage. There's just you got to keep him. So I think TAA is on his way out, in my opinion. They could find a reason for him to stay, but I don't see him. I don't see him on the team next year.
I did see a clip on Twitter. I can't remember who was doing it, but basically these guys showed up outside of Anfield asking fans, who would be your pick if you can only keep one of them between those 3, who are you keeping? And Salah was the most picked.
Yeah, of course.
But then Van Dijk was pretty close, and then basically nobody picked. Because I don't remember. I think this might have been leading up to the Man U game because it was like just this week, I think. But yeah, very few people were like, "Oh, that guy's kind of a unicorn. He can do a little bit of everything." Because somebody even pointed out, "Well, we have Connor Bradley who can just fill in for him." So,
and I think Connor Bradley. I mean, Connor Bradley's a better defender. Correct. And he's more energetic, but Trent Alexander-Arnold's a better passer and a better free kick taker.
Yeah, but I don't think you need that if you go get a better, like, one more addition in the midfield.
Well, also both McAllister and Szoboszlai can take over the corner kick duties. I'm okay with that. Like they're direct replacements there. And I would like to see Szoboszlai kind of play that role of that right side winger with passes delivered with McAllister in the middle next year, because I think that would be good too. You're right. 0% of 0 is going to say Trent Alexander-Arnold.
There was they asked, I think it was 15 to 20 people, and I think maybe 3 said Alexander-Arnold, and the rest of them were pretty evenly split between Salah and Van Dijk. So,
yeah. Other than that, not a lot of whole big transfer news. A bunch of unknown players, a lot of loans out, a lot of recalls.
Keeping their players though. Like Murillo is signing a longer term deal. With Nottingham Forest, they're working on Morgan Gibbs-White signing a long term deal. They're working on Chris Wood signing for.
Yeah, but see, everything is working on. There hasn't been anything big.
Correct.
Yeah, but Nottingham Forest is in a good spot because if they do make it. If they make the top 5, they're going to get extra money. And that extra money is going to go towards players.
People in the summer transfer window to bolster the squad. Like, I don't know. That's the thing is, if you look at Forest roster, because their bench is quality now too, I don't know that there's not a glaring need for them, right? Sure, you want injury.
You need you can't rely on Chris Wood.
Well, we have Taiwo is pretty.
Yeah, but if you bring in another young striker.
Agreed. That's probably what I would like him to do, but I don't know that you break the bank to bring in.
I mean, obviously you could rely on Chris Wood this season, but he's not he's not.
Correct.
He's aging.
He's the same age as Salah, not in the same camp as Salah, but the same age as the same.
Yeah.
Age
so
question.
and so there's that, and
but also it's kind of a weird spot after all this turnover. Forrest finally doesn't have to actually add a player to fix something.
But obviously next week, if anything big happens, who did?
Signed a new contract.
Okay,
so,
staying there.
Playing one of the best right backs in the
Tottenham
league.
Did bring in a player from Gangwon FC, Yang Min Hyuk.
They signed him. So they signed him in the summer window to come in
next
January.
year.
and he flew in the middle of December. And he's been on the training ground. They did sign a new goalkeeper who apparently anonymous scouts in the Bundesliga have said that the new keeper signed by Tottenham, Kinski, reminds them of a young Manuel Neuer, which if that's the case, holy God.
Yeah, he's coming over from Prague.
Yes.
From the
He
Czech
had,
league.
I think, 9 clean sheets in 12 appearances or something, but I don't know the level of the
okay.
So
great.
I'm
Now
not
let's see him.
taking that
Now
risk.
let's see him play against world-class strikers to see
Correct.
what.
I think he's in goal today for I think
Is
he's in
he?
goal trying to stop.
Already? Okay.
He's been in training trying to
If
see.
he's in goal today, and I don't see, and let's not get too far in this because people won't. This game will be over by the time people watch this, but
Correct.
Yeah, we'll see what Liverpool does to him today, but we'll also see who Liverpool puts out there. I'd imagine Luis Diaz will get the start.
What Tottenham's lineup. It should be coming in
soon. It'll be in there soon. Let's move on here. You wanted to talk about efficiency. That's something you were talking to me about this morning via text, and you found some numbers here.
Yeah, so basically, there's a lot of talk going around about, it started with basically people wondering how Nottingham Forest is doing what they're doing, right? And one of the last games, the analyst said they are unapologetically efficient. Okay, pretty good description, because if you look at their stats, they have the least amount of possession of any team in the Premier League this season. The least amount. And yet, they're tied on points with Arsenal. They've won 6 straight games. They're, keeping things clean. So how are they doing this efficiently, right? So I started to try to look at some numbers, and I just wanted to keep it basic. We've talked on previous episodes of this podcast about how I dislike expected goals.
That's stupid. Yeah, I agree.
Like, flat out dislike it because it always has everything close. And the game that really threw it for me was the Wolves-Chelsea, when Chelsea beat Wolves 6-2. Yet on expected goals, Wolves should have beaten them 3.5 to 1. Like, that made no sense. You can't look at a scoreboard and go, well, the team that beat them by 4.
So were those 5 goals unexpected? That's what I have to ask.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, I'm not taking in advanced metrics that can get subjective and, change by weight of the league difficulty every year and all that good stuff, right? I'm just trying to keep it to eye test efficiency. So this first stab at this offensive efficiency metric is taking into account shots on target, because I don't care if you shoot it but it doesn't come anywhere close to the net. You're not.
Yeah. I don't care if you sky it over into the crowd 18 rows up.
I want you to force the keeper to do something, or the opposing defense to have to step in and make a
because that's being efficient, putting the ball on net. That's one thing you learn when you are a child. Put the ball in the net. Correct. Putting the ball in the net's always a good shot. Yeah.
Right. If it's 10 yards wide, I don't care that you punted it out of bounds. That doesn't.
That's your adrenaline kicked, and you said, "Oh shit!" Bam!
So none of Timo Werner's contributions to Tottenham are taken into account. So it's got shots on target. We've got goals. And then I produced a goal percentage, which is essentially goals divided by shots on target, right? So shooting percentage in basketball, for those who watch that. Possession percentage. And then we're going to combine those and kind of come up with a way of measuring how efficient you are. So the teams that have a pretty good goal percentage with a lower possession are going to be higher in the efficiency, right? Teams that either aren't producing goals.
Yeah, but a lot of those goals and stuff are from counterattacks and wide open areas too, though. You got to put that into.
Well, yeah, but if you look at the stats on goals on counterattacks, I think Forest only get credit for 4 goals on counterattacks this year.
Yeah, they're not a countering team. Yeah,
right. They counter.
But how many do? Yeah, Brentford probably has a ton.
I think so. I think like Tottenham's got a decent amount. I think Chelsea's got a decent amount. But either way, it's a goal nonetheless.
Well, Tottenham got 3 against Man City in one game.
Right. So I'm just trying to keep it, because in some respects, a counterattack could be a little subjective sometimes, depending on who's doing the official scoring for that game.
Yeah, like a defender can fall down and it turns into a counterattack.
Exactly.
Don't tell that to
or
Steven
a bad
Gerrard.
pass, and now it's a 4-on-2, and all of a sudden it's a counter, which it really isn't. It's just stupid defense. So if we look at this now, keep in mind this is the first stab. Once I get it, kind of finalized and test a little bit more, it may go up on our site here. But right now, the top 5 most efficient scoring teams in the Premier League so far through 20 games,
according to your formula, which I like, by the way.
Brentford is the most efficient.
That would make a ton of sense.
Leicester.
That makes 0 sense.
Nottingham Forest is number 3.
That makes a lot of sense.
Wolves are number 4.
That makes 0 sense.
And Ipswich is number 5.
Also makes 0 sense.
Well, it does and it doesn't, because if you look at, because I also rank
a lot of, there's relegate those teams. 3 of those teams are fighting for relegation to stay alive.
I'm not saying that they're good. I'm saying that this is how efficient they are given their chances. Right.
Okay. But because they don't have a lot of possession and a lot of games, that's why they're.
Right. If you look at if you look at these top 5, right, 3 of them are in the bottom 5 of possession. Nottingham Forest is dead last in possession.
They're last, yeah.
But if you look at
are they really dead last in possession? Nottingham
Forest is averaging so far this year. They've had 39.9% possession.
That boggles my mind.
I think Everton, they came in second to last, and then Everton had more of the ball in the last game. So now Forest is last, and Everton is second to last at 40.
So they have to be the most efficient team. Well, obviously Brentford too, but yeah, that to me makes sense.
Sort of, but we'll dig into this a little bit here. So
what makes sense is why they're so up on the table, because they're that efficient with the least amount of possession.
Right. So goal percentage, aka percentage of goals made out of shots on target. 3 of those 5 teams are in 4 of them are in the top half. 3 of them are in the top 6 in terms of highest goal percentage, right? Brentford has the best goal percentage in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
They have made 38. They have 38 goals, and they've taken 99 shots on target. So that's almost 40% conversion. They're making almost 40% of the shots on target that they take, right?
Yep.
Leicester is making 36.5%.
The problem is they have a lot less shots.
They have 63 shots on target, but they have 23 goals.
Yeah.
Right? Forest is at 31%. Wolves are at 36.5%, like Leicester. So in some respects, this makes a lot of sense. These teams, 3 of these teams are in the bottom 5 in possession, and 3 of these teams are in the top 6 most effective goal scorers. However they're doing it, whether it's corners, whether it's counters, whether it's free kicks, PKs, whatever. So, and now if you look at the least efficient teams, the 5 least efficient teams, Southampton is the least.
Ah, damn it!
I mean, they have 12 goals on the season.
I mean, I don't need your efficiency metrics to tell me that. You just look at the table and tell you they're the least efficient team.
The worst goal percentage, because they have 58 shots on target and 12 of them have gone in. So just under 21% of their shots on target scored. They're actually mid-table in terms of possession, but we've talked about that before. It's because they possess the ball in their half of the field and don't do anything with it by the time they get to the other half of the field. And then I also calculated shots per minute. So this is basically every team's played 20 games. There's 90 minutes in a game, right? Mm-hmm. So 1,800 minutes, shots divided by minutes. They're also dead last.
I like this. SPMs. I like this.
So the number one team in shots per minute is
to be Liverpool. Bournemouth. Well, they're surprising us to see it. They're in the upper half.
Liverpool is second.
Yeah, but Liverpool's won less game also.
Correct.
Does that matter? Yeah.
Well, sort of a little bit.
But Bournemouth there is
Bournemouth's at 114 shots and Liverpool's at 131.
Yeah.
So the difference isn't that big for an additional 90 minutes.
Correct. Yeah.
Played, right? So if you average it, I mean, it's really close. It's like 0.137 to 0.135 with the bigger number ranking 1st. So it's to the third decimal. So it's really close.
Yeah. I have a question. Where is Man City in shots per minute?
Man City ranks 8th, so they're mid-table in shots per minute.
I see that's surprising to me, and that's been their weakness this year is not getting the ball enough to Holland, like we talked about, and they should be 1 or 2
early. They did
early.
Past
the injuries and the not passing it into the box.
20 games, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at Holland through 12 games led the league in goals and hadn't scored in the last 4, right?
Yeah.
And now he's behind a bunch of guys because he hasn't scored. So anyway, the 5 least efficient offenses, Southampton is the least efficient. Man U is second.
Yep. 100% makes sense. 100%
Crystal Palace
also makes sense.
Man City.
Mm-hmm.
And the 5th least efficient offense might be a little bit surprising. Chelsea.
Really? That one is surprising. Man City, I can see just because they're not getting the shots. Like they're not putting.
Well,
they
have 39 goals.
No, right? Well, Man City or Chelsea?
Chelsea has 39 goals. Yeah. Man City has 36. Yeah. But Chelsea has 39 goals on 119 shots. So they're second in shots on target.
Wow.
Right? Behind only Liverpool at 131. But Chelsea has the second highest possession rank in the Premier League. Man City has the highest.
Yeah, I could tell you. That's all they do is they play possession.
Man City is 61.4% possession. Chelsea's 58.2.
And that's why Chelsea they're not efficient.
Has a lot of the ball, but they're also not they're
efficient with their opportunities
in terms of goal percentage. So how many shots actually go in. So they're on ball a lot, and then they're not producing as much as you would think they would be for a team that's on ball as much. And Chelsea has basically the same goal percentage as Nottingham Forest.
Wow.
But they've taken 26 more shots on target.
Right when we said they were finally clicking their biggest weakness, then bam.
So there's a bunch like Tottenham and Liverpool are kind of mid-table in terms of
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Arsenal's mid-table in there. Yeah. Everton, surprisingly, is right there with Liverpool.
Nah, never.
Well, in terms of because they're not on ball very much.
I mean, in general, not in your stats.
They don't make a lot of shots, but they do make a decent percentage of them.
Yeah.
And then because they're not on, I mean, they only have a 40.2% possession.
Well, I love this, man. I think this is captivating.
So based on eye test, it kind of works. I do kind of want to fiddle with it and see how it holds up.
Mm-hmm.
But it is an interesting way to view teams for, I don't know, game predictions or, betting purposes. I don't know how much it would hold up, but it's certainly an interesting way to view why teams are where they are.
Yeah. Keep on digging at it. Maybe we could find a way to get it onto the Rants Network there and add some more flavor to it. Because I'm loving this. I'm surprised by these stats. Some of them I'm obviously not. Southampton.
Like basically Tottenham and Liverpool are essentially as efficient as each other offensively.
Makes sense. But
Tottenham can't stop anybody.
But that's off. But now when you add the defensive level to this as well, there's a reason why Liverpool's way.
Correct. Their it also goes to show kind of how
and Nottingham Forest's defense as well.
Because if you look like
Fulham's defense,
Arsenal's allowed the fewest number of goals in the league at 18. Liverpool and Forest are second at 19. Those are the top 3 teams in the table. So you can stop teams from scoring. Doesn't really matter how few goals you're putting in. You
So
get
you're telling me whoever has the biggest number on the scoreboard at the end of the game
yes.
will win the game. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, much to XG's chagrin. Yes, that's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. So actual goals, AGs,
Correct.
are better than XGs. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah,
Okay.
GF is better than XG. Yes.
Got it. Okay. I may save this for next week so we have something to talk about. Oh, you know what? Let's do it real quick. Speaking of efficiency, do you know which Premier League team? And this is a thing that's been happening this year with more yellow cards for this, and the league wanted to make this a thing at the beginning of the season. Time wasting in the Premier League this year. Teams wasting time, getting yellow cards for delaying games because they want that win, so they don't want to give the team the ball. Obvious stuff. The goalie randomly falling onto the ground, Jordan Pickford, and laying there for 5 seconds, and then getting up and deciding who he wants to kick it to, even though both people are open. It really doesn't matter. 10 seconds later. So this happened the last couple of years, and they said, "Hey, we're going to make sure that we go at it this year." So I found some interesting stats, my own here, on time wasting because I hate it. It drives me crazy. Do you know? First of all, there's only one team who has not received a yellow card for time wasting this season. So they are really giving them out so far, and that's Leicester. Do you know who has the most cards for time wasting? Holding a lead in time wasting. It is Arsenal. 9.
Yeah, it has to be Angry John Stamos.
9. Almost in half their games, they've gotten.
By the way, my new nickname for Mikel Arteta is Angry John Stamos.
I love Angry John Stamos. I love it. It does look like it
because he looks like a perpetually pissed off John Stamos with short hair.
He does. Last time we had Lego Man, and now we have Angry.
Yeah, there you
John
go.
Stamos.
Yeah, it has to be. I'm pretty sure Arsenal led the league last year in time wasting, like just pure calculation per game of time wastage. It was Arsenal who led the league last year too.
Now Liverpool's it's only happened to them once. They've only had one yellow card. Southampton only one. Well, they don't need the time waste because they're winning. Yeah. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. Where they got that one, they got that one. I guarantee it was in the game when they got their only win of the season.
I would almost guarantee.
But Bournemouth second with 7, then Chelsea was 6, then Everton, surprisingly. Fulham, Ipswich. So there's more to this, though. Okay? Average time taking to restart play. Okay? Yes. Average time, this includes throw-ins, corner kicks, goalies, average time. You know who number 1 is? Nottingham Forest.
I would assume so.
32.1 seconds.
See, they do it in a smart way, though. They do it in a way that, like, I will say, though, watching the game, if you actually
Arsenal is not far behind them, though. Arsenal's not far behind them.
If you do actually watch those games, a lot of this is set pieces where they're just trying, like, the opponent's just shoving people out of the way, and the ref has to, like, whistle it before they even kick it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, not opposed to dark arts of.
But Arsenal is up here in the top 5 as well. So is Brentford, Aston Villa. The bottom, Tottenham, the worst, or I guess getting the play going. 24 seconds. Then Man City, then Liverpool. No, then Man City, then Liverpool. So Arsenal's.
Well, Man City needs all the chances they can get to come back in games this year. Last year they were very high on time wasting because they just wanted to salt the clock away.
So where does Arsenal take the most amount of time wasting? This is crazy, dude.
From their goalie. Like
No. I did some digging. Average time taking to take corners.
Oh, yeah.
Brentford is second at 38.1 seconds, and then it goes Chelsea at 37, Aston Villa 37. There's a 3-second gap between 2 and 10.
Yeah, because Chelsea has to draw. Have you ever watched them take it? There's like 6 dudes talking with Cole Palmer as to where they're going to go.
No,
and then
but I'm saying Chelsea is 37 seconds, Brentford second at 38 seconds, Aston Villa's at 37th. There is a 35 to 38 second average gap between 2 and 10, which is Crystal Palace at 35.3. So we're at less than 3 second gap between all those teams. Brentford is second, like I said. Number 1 is Arsenal.
At like 45 seconds.
47.9, 48, 10 seconds longer per corner than anybody else in the league. It's a huger gap from second to first than it is from second to fourth. That's like the table, the Premier League table.
Yeah, but if you they're drawing up plays, right? Have you Arsenal's set pieces now look like NFL offensive plays with picks and guys running rub routes.
So did Liverpool's. Routes. They have a coach. That's all they do.
I know, but Arsenal gave their coach a they literally put him on the side of the building. He has a mural on the side of the Emirates.
For what? For second place, baby! Woo!
Here's the interesting part about Arsenal, though, is they're so concerned with corners. It's like they play for corners and won't score in. Isn't
that weird? You're right.
Wide open play.
I've noticed that. They do they're like when they get a quarter, man, they're pumped. Now look this up if you can real quick. Do you have stats available that could tell me how many goals has Arsenal scored of their goals on a corner kick this season?
Oh, I can look that up.
Let's look that up real quick, and then we'll kind of end this show for this week. We'll talk about a few things coming up next week, but we'll end this show. But
okay, so goals,
I want to know.
So Arsenal has 39 goals on the year.
Mm-hmm. How many were from a corner? I hope it's like 2.
They got more than that. I know that.
I know. But
let's see. Goals from. Let's see. I got inside penalty.
I mean, 10 seconds in a football match is so long to be over and above everybody else per corner kick time taken.
Corner kick. I'm trying to find. Oh, by the way, they have a hit woodwork stat on Premier League website.
Yeah,
Chelsea
I know
leads the league in hit woodwork.
14. I think Darwin Núñez alone.
Liverpool's tied with Bournemouth for second at 12.
No, don't say Liverpool. Say Darwin Núñez.
Who's suspended for the next game, by the way.
Good.
Let me see. I want to see
him and Timo Werner can both go to the same team in
yeah, let me see.
Saudi Arabia, wherever they go to, where players go to make a lot of money and not be relevant anymore.
Yeah, let me see. Most corners, most goals scored from corners. Let me see if StatMuse has it. From corners. Okay, so since the start of the 23-24 season, up until the beginning of December, Arsenal have 20 goals from corners.
Okay, so
Man City is second at 15 and Liverpool is third at 14.
Okay, so it's working out for them, I guess you could say, having that.
It does not include the rest of December, and that's, again.
Okay, so it's working. It's working then, you could say. The running the West Coast offense on corners is working for Arsenal over there, and taking the extra 10 seconds per corner. So if they take...
Okay, here we go. From Opta, their total for this season for set piece goals.
For Arsenal, who waste the most amount of time per not just corner, also set piece too.
They have 10.
10.
10 set piece goals through 19. That's through 19 games.
Okay. So how many corners average you think they take per game? We'll say 3 or 4, probably. Arsenal 3, 4, 5. How many corners?
They had 125 corners.
Okay, so divide that by 20.
Yeah,
that'll give us our answer.
6.25.
6.25, dude. That means that per game, Arsenal just on corners per game is wasting
about a half a.
is wasting about 5 minutes and 30 seconds of the game on corners.
Yeah.
Of a game.
Yep.
And stoppage time never goes over 7-8 minutes, and that includes goal stoppage time, other injury stoppage time. Literally 5.5 minutes of a game.
Think about this.
Of an Arsenal game is being wasted with them just setting up corner kicks.
And that's on average because there were like, 5 of the first 9 games this year they played with a man down?
Yeah.
So
I
you
mean,
have
that
to assume
is
that they're not getting very many corners when they're a man down. They're just parking the bus.
that's insane.
It's ridiculous.
That's insane. That's all. I want to bring that to your attention because I saw that. I was like, that is absolutely crazy, dude. It's like,
Dark arts. Now you know why the guy's got a face on a mural on the side of their building.
they're wasting 5.5 minutes per game
By the way,
just
you
on
wanna know
taking corner kicks.
From Crystal Palace this year is second in set piece goals at 8.
Wow. Okay.
Nottingham Forest, Villa, West Ham, and Bournemouth all have 7.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tottenham has 6, including Son not needing anybody else from a corner to score one.
Yeah.
We put in an Olympiacos.
Well, how about we do this? We'll put a bow on this. We will put a bow on this. We have some big games coming up, obviously, this next week. We have a midweek match week next week. Brentford, Man City is going to be an interesting one. And obviously, Nottingham Forest and Liverpool is probably going to be the big one. Arsenal and Spurs should be interesting as well. Mm-hmm.
By the way, as a Spurs fan, I'm glad we're done with Arsenal by the middle of January. Also, for Forest, I'm glad we're done with Liverpool by the middle of January.
Yeah, right. And then right to the weekend, we have more. Brentford hosting Liverpool, which ought to be a fun game. Arsenal, Aston Villa will be a fun game all the way through Monday. So we may do an episode next week. I'm not quite sure. We'll see how this all kind of hands out. Or we just come back after these slate of matches and just talk about them all and where we're at, like kind of what we did today. I kind of liked it. A little bit more without having to dive in each one of these matches. I'd rather talk about the match of what happened instead of going forward. How do you feel about that?
I agree. Plus, we could delve into a little bit of this, how the stats hold up.
Yeah, definitely. And I will have my eye on Arsenal and see how much I'm gonna start. I'm gonna watch the whole game.
Are you gonna
time it? See how much time they waste on set pieces, especially corner kicks, because that boggles my mind. This will be a fun episode.
It's gonna boggle your mind.
What?
One Football put out a tweet about an hour ago that has the most informed sides across Europe's top 5 leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Atletico Madrid and Nottingham Forest are the 2 most informed teams in Europe, ahead of Inter Milan, Bayern Leverkusen, at Atlanta, Athletic Club. Newcastle and Napoli are in the top 8 there.
What? I guess we got to throw some Premier League team in there, huh?
They just went among the top, the last 6 games,
mm-hmm.
and then points gotten from those.
Oh, crap!
And Atletico Madrid are the only 2 that have won 6. That won each of their last 6 leagues.
Wait, wouldn't Nottingham Forest be more informed than Newcastle?
Yes, they are. They're the number 1. They're tied with Atletico Madrid.
Oh, okay. They're number 1. Okay, got it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I missed that.
7th, and Napoli is
that's insane.
8th.
Yeah, like most of those teams are not even,
And by the way, yes, the new keeper for Tottenham is starting against Liverpool.
Fun. We forgot to mention this. But more may come to light on this on our next episode, so maybe we talk about it more than if anything actually comes from it. But the rumors of Elon Musk buying Liverpool, I don't think it's real. I really don't. I don't think it happened. I don't think
dad.
It came from his dad.
It came from his dad giving a Sky Sports interview.
No, he's just drunk.
Probably.
I don't know. He's rich and drunk and doesn't care. But if anything comes to that, right now it's just one of those European tabloid rumors that we love so much here on Keepin It EPL. We'll talk about it on our next show. We'll either be back next week or the week after, and we'll have a lot to talk about because we have a lot of good games coming up after that. And this is it.
And maybe if Ange loses the next 2 games, he gets fired. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe we'll have another firing.
If he loses to Tamworth or whatever the hell team we're playing on Saturday, it's not going to go well.
Who the hell is Akron Stanley? Whatever. Oh, these League Cups are so dumb and worthless. Anyways, until next time, everybody, enjoy your next match week of Premier League football. From Matt Selz, for myself, the Rants Network. And hopefully a new article with cool efficiency numbers that I could geek out on. We'll see you next time, my fellow Premier League viewers. Boom.